Come on, admit it. You've been calling this film a Chinese Top Gun ripoff ever since you first saw the trailer. And okay, I'll admit it. Even we did that here at Asian Film Fans when we first subtitled and released the trailer back in late 2022. But what's it really like? Hi, I'm the Artie Dans from the Asian Film Fans and the Artie Dans channels. And let's check out the controversial Chinese action drama film Born to Fly and see if it really is anything like Top Gun. Liu is a hot-headed trainee pilot who is headhunted by Zhang Ting to join a group of test pilots for a new Chinese stealth plane fitted with an advanced Chinese-developed engine. This all occurs after an undisclosed Western aggressor, their words, not mine, infiltrate Chinese airspace and embarrass the current fleet of Air Force jets. As always, when a group of young test pilots are brought together, there is banter, camaraderie, and competition, as Liu's arrogance leads to a dangerous situation where he is forced to eject from the plane while his co-pilot, who just so happens to be Zhang Ting, steers the plane to safety. Realizing he doesn't want to give up on his dream, Liu works behind the scenes to implement an improvement to the new stealth engine design, leading him to be welcomed back to the test pilot team, where his first mission back involves yet another tragedy. Fill in the blanks for the rest of the story, it's not that hard. Okay, so a few things to start off with. No, it's not a Top Gun ripoff, just because it has fighter jets and is about the Air Force. No, it's not as good. Nowhere near as good as Top Gun. But reluctantly, yes, it's still kind of an enjoyable film to watch. Kind of. You need to ignore the patriotism, just like you had to do with Top Gun, and once you can do that, there is a half-decent film here to enjoy. But the story is incoherent and too complex for this style of film, and that's the movie's biggest downside. It's trying to separate itself from Top Gun, and has resulted in the end in trying to make a film that appears to be intelligent, but ends up looking silly, as they have to revert back to an old technique to solve a problem, when the movie goes into painstaking detail to emphasize that technology should be the push for the future. And the movie also tries to be humble, but ends up looking a bit weak. Nowhere in Top Gun that I can remember do they talk about how they don't have the best fighter jets or that they aren't a strong force. And I get that. That looks really arrogant. But the opposite is on show here with this kind of woe is me story. And it feels a bit tacked on and it's not giving off the best vibe. And like I mentioned, the story is incoherent. And as it moves from plots to scenes really quickly. And coupled with the military jargon that's used, it can be a little distracting to kind of keep up with the pace of the film. And this is where the film crew have used a lot of little set pieces to bring your attention back to the focus of the film. So they get you confused with the jargon, and then immediately they try to wow you back with these testing scenes. The problem is the CGI, and it's everywhere. And it's obvious for a film like this, especially when you know everyone is going to be comparing this to Top Gun. And the fact that Top Gun used real planes and shot real maneuvers, to see scene after scene of CGI flights, testing, and of course the inevitable dogfight at the end, it's jarring. And it's the real reason that this movie was delayed from its initial release back in September 29, 2022. It's when the Chinese citizens first saw this trailer for this movie, and they just completely lost it. Lambasted the filmmakers for making this ripoff, for having this terrible and weak-looking CGI. So they yanked it from release schedule. They reworked it, with the CGI, I believe, being the main focus. Not sure whether they touched any of the actual story components when they reworked the film. And there is a lot of drama in the film, and there's a lot of tension, but it never really escalates to anything more interesting. And what I mean by that is there's rivalry between the test pilots, but it's fleeting and it's hardly worth raising as a point. And of course, there's a love interest in the movie, but that story just gets left on the table and barely the surface is scratched on it. There's scenes of Zhang Ting and his wife, which is probably the most endearing and emotional scene of the whole film. And then they try to couple that with another scene of Liu and his family, but it just kind of goes nowhere. It's a one scene and it's over really quickly. So if you want to see what a recruitment video masquerading as a movie looks like, then check out this and check out Flashover, which is the firefighter movie. Now, a lot of people are going to call this propaganda, but it's probably no worse than what Top Gun ever did. It's just that now that the shoe's on the other foot, and a lot of people are not going to like that. As it stands now, it has an average or above average rating of 6.6 on Chinese movie portal site Douban, which is usually fairly accurate with the way it rates and reviews movies, but I'm not going to be that generous. 2.5 out of 5 is more than enough for this film. And again, parts of the movie are lost in the translation to English. So I watched this on Chinese web streaming services, a VIP pay-per-view stream, which has the original Chinese English subtitles that appeared in the cinema. But because this movie's been picked up by Wellgo for an international release, I would assume that the translation will be improved, because there was a few typos in there, there was words that made no sense, and jokes that weren't translated properly. So that should improve the viewing experience if you're going to be watching the international cut or release of this film. So if you've seen it, what do you think of it? Now, I understand that the movie's going to be very, very divisive. So try to keep a little bit calm in the comment section below. Take a deep breath before you start typing, and remember, it's just a film. That's all it is. It is just a film. Regardless of what you think about anything, it is just a film. If you enjoyed this review or this video, please press like. Subscribe if you're new here and you enjoyed the movie review. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time we do another Chinese or Asian movie review. Thank you for watching. See you next time.